And we're back for game number 3 of this best of 3 between Pulse and Zero. And Pulse didn't set their banner. That or didn't load. One of the two. Either way, gonna be fun times. I'm gonna guess it just didn't load because I could have swore they had it set. Either way, these teams go in the distance here in the inaugural edition of Curse Gaming's $100 King of the Hill. The winner of this going to walk away with a cool $100, as well as an invite back next week to take on a brand new team and a shot at another $100. Sounds like a pretty sweet deal to me. May as well just call it Curse's Benny Tournament. That's what I would call it anyway, because I'm an American and I can say Benny, and people know exactly what I mean. Joining me for the broadcast is Epi, and yeah, man, Game 1 and Game 2, both pretty short affairs. Only about 45, 50 minutes combined time in those two. And that's not really a surprise. Whenever you have Pulse on the map, Pulse usually plays very aggressive. And unfortunately for Zero, their attempts at early aggression with that early quad lane fell pretty darn flat.
Yeah, the Germans, I guess, thought for a while that they were Russian. But more importantly, what is Benny?
Benny, it's on our $100 bill here in the States. We have an old wasn't a president, but he was a major figure in American history named Benjamin Franklin. So in slang and parlance, you can say, I'm getting them bennies, meaning you're making $100 bills, etc. Comes from urban culture and all that, but it's like, yeah, make about a benny a day, etc., meaning you make about $100 a day, so on and so forth. So just call it the Benny Tournament.
Oh.
Yep.
Ben Franklin, I know that guy. I heard of him.
There you go. Anytime people like... if you were, at least like whenever I was growing up, like my first experience with Ben Franklin was the little cartoon. I can't remember it. It was about a little mouse, and he helped Benjamin Franklin discover electricity, or well, not discover, but the whole key on the kite thing. And Poor Richard's Almanac helped him come up with bifocals. Well, I can't remember the name of that cartoon, but it was so awesome. Now I'm overwhelmed with nostalgia. But anyway. At some point, I'm sure someone in the chat will know and probably inform us, but it was an awesome cartoon and I miss it. Anyway, how about we talk about Dota and not Benjamin Franklin? Both are pretty awesome, but Dota in front of us right now, and the picks and bans going quickly. We've got Undying and Bad Rider taken out by Pulse. Not going to see Darkseer or Wisp, courtesy of Zero. Sven and Bounty Hunter, the first two picks, and I can say I've been harping on Sven and how solid a hero he really is. This is the first time I've ever seen him first pick, though.
Maybe Pulse just really want to make a statement.
Exactly.
Yeah, but they get TA, so we saw TA and Sven all 3 games. I mean, TA, that's understandable. Sven, not so much. But yes, it is a strong hero, and we saw why. For the most part in the first game, the second game was just a really easy as pie game for him, because as he said, the early over-aggression just really didn't pay off for Zero. So I wonder if they're going to go for something more conventional or for something crazy once more, because if we look back at game 1, as Kuroki played a kind of semi-jungling pulling Magnus. No, he's not called Magnus in Dota 2, is he? What's his name?
Yeah, he's Magnus, but it's
Magnus.
All right, but he is not a Magnusar. He is a Magnosaurus. Get it right.
Yes. Exactly, that's true. A Magnosaurus, that was a ridiculous name right there. So I wonder if Kuroki's going to go for something unconventional once more. I mean, it would certainly make for something, have potential fun, because the last draft was, we would look at it and we were like, man, we're going to see a really fun and fast-paced game, but after 2 or 3 minutes that fast-pacedness just turned into a slow death.
Absolutely. And here's a trivia question for you, straight from Dota 2 lore. Take it straight from Ice Frog's mouth. What do you call someone dressed up as a Magnosaurus, pretending to be a Magnosaurus, but they're not actually a Magnosaurus?
Was that a question to me?
Yes, it was to you and to the viewers, but I will not give you time to answer because we got Dota to talk about, but it is the Imposterous Magnosaurus. Anyway, yeah, that's a fun joke that my buddies and I came up with, and just absolutely hilarious. Just call it the Imposterous. But anyway, waiting on Zero to round out their first 3. Bounty Hunter and Sven picked up. And we can see a theme emerging. And again, if you know Pulse, you know that this is how they play. Bounty Hunter, a hero because of track. The bonus gold it grants to him and to his teammates as a whole means he's going to want to be active fast. Level 6, he's going to be wanting to hit the bricks and head for other lanes and try to force fights when and where he can. Sven, very strong early game. And Sven, like Tiny, is what I call a peak and valley hero. He is very strong early on because of the strength of Stormhammer and Warcry. Then, depending on who he's up against, he can fall off pretty sharply. If he doesn't have a very good laning phase or he just has a moderate start, he can begin to feel a little bit impotent in the mid stages of the game, but once he gets up 1 or 2 major core items, all of a sudden his viability starts to climb up, and by the time he's got a full inventory, he's just an absolute beast. So he's a hero you got to keep your eye on and make sure you engage at the right time. He will punish you if you run into him. Just go off half-cocked and try to fight a Sven with a little bit of support. Looks like Zero has decided. Windrunner and Jakiro going to round them out. And yeah, makes a lot of sense. Jakiro, strong heroes you're going to run into, and Windrunner, not too shabby. We'll see where they end up putting her. Most likely going to be the long lane.
Yeah, and it's going to be Paz playing her as well. It's his signature hero, and Paz is one of the strongest Windrunner players I've ever seen. The only player I would say plays a stronger Windrunner is Light of Heaven, but I mean, I'm kind of biased toward Paz because he's a friend of mine, and I just really respect him as a player and a person. But you're going to see a really strong and skilled and just really all-round good Windrunner in there. So again, Alex going to be playing Jakiro and Fata on TA. So now we're going to see a more balanced team so far. So perhaps one more jungler and then a hard carry for Jakiro to support. But you never know what KoTH is going to go for. But for now, we're going to go into the second ban phase. So first time in 2 or 3 in the 2 games, we're going to see Chen taken out. Chen and Enchantress, probably the biggest surprise that ever since the game kind of developed, that these heroes have almost always been banned out, and now we barely ever seen them taken out. So Chen now gets taken out in the second ban phase alongside Queen of Pain. So another strong team fighter and laner is not going to see any play.
Yep, in terms of Chen and how he's kind of fallen off a bit, and Enchantress the same way. Enchantress not quite so much. In fact, I would dare say that anymore it seems like Enchantress does get seen a bit more than Chen, just because Chen will be banned out in the second phase a lot more than Enchantress will. Enchantress tends to slip through. But anyway, it plays into the whole idea of how Dota is changing. Dota used to be a very stable, elongated sort of a laning phase. You'd have laning phases that lasted a long time. It focused a lot on the super farm dependent heroes like your Animage and what have you. And now the game is becoming much more about getting kills early, breaking. It used to be more of a, what I would call, okay, let me put it this way. It used to be more like boxing. Now it's more like MMA. Much more wide open. A lot more room for strategies and more about punishing your opponent than just trying to stick within one very narrowly confined playstyle, which tended, again, to favor the very stable lanes, the group fight, team fight with the heavy agility carry and all that fun stuff. Just a much more wide open game now, and Chen has been a bit of a casualty of that. Venomancer going to be the 4th pickup from Zero, the first pick in the second picking phase. And talk about that Shadow Demon again. Once again, we kind of harped on that a bit, on how Shadow Demon can confound things for the Templar Assassin a bit. Using the Shadow Poison, that helps a bit, not to mention Disruption, that can melt away Refraction because of the illusions that pop out along with the hero once that is done. Not to mention his ulti, which the ticks of which do melt Refraction as well. So definitely keeping their options open. And again, Shadow Demon, he can solo against the TA. It's a little iffy. It's very skill dependent. Very, very thin margin of error if they decide to do that. Or you can do a mid with him, which I think is more common at this stage of the game.
Yeah, I agree. And I must say, I really like that metaphor of MMA and boxing. That really kind of encapsulates what the change in Dota 2 has been about. I mean, we see KoTH now drafting a really strong mid-game lineup. I mean, look at that. Venomancer, Jakiro, Windrunner, TA. That is as powerful as you can get in the mid-game. Enigma going to have a tough time against the Shackle. It's going to be really good to disable along with Jakiro's long-range stun. But exactly. I wonder, though, what hero would be representing Anderson Silva if this were more like MMA?
I don't know a lot of MMA. I could probably take a guess and just say an awesome hero. Sven, in my opinion, because Sven's awesome. Or Ursa, because he eats faces. But I know the name, don't know a whole lot about MMA. It's one of those sports I wish I got into. Are you kidding me? Oh my goodness, this is the second hero of the day that I have never casted before that I get to cast. Yes, in the D2L matchup before, I got to cast a Necrolite. I had never casted a Necrolite before, and now I get to cast a professionally played Doombringer. And Doombringer, a hero that is still a bit of a question mark, not just professionally, but in general. He does some things so well. He's got the best silence, the best damage over time effect in the entire game. He can jungle now because of the changes to his consume, but he's still very one-dimensional. But I think, again, it plays in to what you're talking about. KoTH has drafted a very mid-game-centric team. Problem is, they're going to pick up a Rubik, pretty standard stuff here. But what are they going to do with the Doom? Oh, I can't wait.
Yeah, I mean, look at the lineup from Zero. It's going to be the lineup that chases your ass all across the map. It doesn't really matter. You have the slows, you have the Wind on the Shackle, the really strong slow from Venomancer, you have the old one from TA and Doombringer with the higher movement speed due to the Scorched Earth, and the Doom, of course, as well. That's going to be silencing either the Enigma or the Sven exclusively. Now, the only thing Doom has to worry about is Rubik stealing that very powerful Doom, because that will turn things around really fast, and the Black Hole, of course, will also do some big damage to them as well. So it's going to come down to the movement within those long and stretched out team fights. But I must say I love the lineup from Zero so far. It's just going to come down to how well is Doom going to be able to farm and what is he going to go for. Doom usually they go for really fast Radiance, but ever since art style kind of revolutionized, as he usually does, a hero, when he went to Doom, he went ahead and built a Vladimir's Offering on him, and just went all-out aura strat. So for that, he kind of supported his team in pushing by having that bonus 5 armor on every single one of them. And I must say, it really worked out well on him. So the item choice on Doom is going to dictate the pace of the game, because we know that TA will go for a fast dagger and Force Staff on Windrunner and so on and so forth. But Doom is going to be the biggest X factor for Zero's lineup. And on Pulse's side, it's going to come down to how they react in team fights, how they're going to play. Is Rubik going to be able to get a good spell stolen, and is Enigma going to be able to land a great Black Hole for Sven to cleave away?
A lot of spells to be stolen as well. You've got Venomous Gale, you've got Ice Path, even Dual Breath to a lesser extent. You've got Shackle Shot, you've got Power Shot, so Rubik's going to have his a pretty good game in terms of being able to steal spells, I do suspect. But anyways, the lanes take shape. Let's run through our lineup, see who's on who. The Captain Kuro is actually going to be playing on a Veno. Don't see this all that often. Kuro, I mean, he's versatile. He'll play whatever, but I just don't know that I've ever actually seen Kuro on a Veno. Doom, the surprise, the question mark. Played by Leaf this time around. TA going to be played by Fata once again. Or is it Fata? Anyway. Setting up shop with TA in mid. Alex going to be handling our Jakiro, and Windrunner going to be played by Poss, as expected and predicted by Epi. Mini going to be running Rubik. Looks like he's heading towards mid, at least for the moment. Shadow Demon is there as well, and now Mini going to go ahead and bypass mid lane, heading back up to... No, he is going to double back. So it is going to be Waga and Mini here in mid against Fata, or Fata. And this, again, is just to make sure they keep her under control. Waga, the captain, running there in mid, along with Mini. EGM going to be running on Bounty Hunter once again. Sven going to be played by Region for the second game in a row. And he might be in some trouble. Catches and caught by an Ice Path. Poss is there, tried to hit the Shackle Shot as well. Not going to latch it. Enigma in the jungle. Now, this is one weakness of having Enigma in the jungle. As good as the hero is in the jungle, he's one of the fastest junglers in the game, gets up a lot of items very quickly. He is a liability in terms of a try-on-try situation. He is just not that effective in the early laning phase at coming out of the jungle and doing a lot. His Eidolons can be strong. He's got Malefice, and that's all well and good, but he just dies so quickly. He has no mobility, no escape, nothing like that. So even with Mini here, Zero's going to have a chance to really put some pressure on and keep Region down for quite some time.
Yeah, just that's a good decision. That's a situation where I can totally understand why you would go for an aggressive trial lane, exactly because of that. You have the fastest jungler Enigma sitting in there, so that gives you the knowledge that you're basically going to go 3 against 2.
Yep.
But still, they got to be able to make it count. So this is still not a one lane. It can still kind of have the same effect like they had in the last game with the quad lane. The consequences are just not going to be as severe as losing with the quad lane as opposed to the tri lane. Bottom lane, Leaf exchanging hits with EGM going crazy. The Scorched Earth passive HP regen gonna really make him win that exchange. And you can never count out the Devour, of course. It makes Doombringer also a really, really fast farmer.
Oh yeah, absolutely. We can already see him doing that. The bonus gold certainly going to be a big help. The only question mark up here on top is going to be the damage output that these three heroes are going to be able to put on to Sven. A lot of good stuns. You've got Shackle Shot, you've got Power Shot for a little bit of burst as well. You're going to have Dual Breath, Ice Path, of course, and Venomous Gale. But is it enough? Are they going to be able to kill Rishon fast enough to prevent him from making it back to safety if and when they engage? He's got Stormhammer to bail him out, and they are going to go on him. There's the Gale that lands. Mini's there. He's got low mana. Shackle Shot, follow up Ice Path. Is it? And see, this is exactly what I was talking about. They're struggling. Is it enough? Can they pick him off? And yeah, thank you, Regent, for making me seem like I actually know what the hell I'm talking about. Beautiful demonstration. And so yeah, they've got three heroes that are really good at slowing you down and keeping you locked in place, but just not a lot of damage to get those early kills. So they are going to apply a little bit of pressure to the tower in the meantime.
Yeah, exactly. But one thing that's also odd is you saw how clumped up they were. I mean, the telekinesis stunned all of them, and the stun from Sven also caught 2 out of 3. This shouldn't really happen. If you're up against AoE stuns and you initiate, you should at least be spread out across the width of the lane, and that way they might have been able to get 1 or 2 more auto attacks. And I mean, Sven got away with 70 HP, so for Christ's sake, they just get one or two right clicks in more, and he would have dropped. But the big thing is, I guess, that Sven isn't getting all the last hits, but on the other side we have the 3 heroes splitting up the experience, so we're going to see how this is going to turn out. Oh, I'm sorry, I talked over the first blood.
It's alright, I was watching it. There wasn't a whole lot to report. It was just Leaf trying to run away, and he got caught out. Rishon is going to be caught with a shackle. Now the Ice Path follow-up after the Gale. This is how they need to engage if they're going to engage, but here's the big TP. Kuro's in trouble. He's going to be able to pick off Sven, but here's Waga. And Kuro looking for safety in the woods. Pos looking for safety as well. Here comes finally the Enigma back out to help. Gets the Malefice off. In the meantime, Mini gets the kill in the woods on the Vino. Make it 3-1. Favoring Pulse and another TP. Coming in, going to guess that's a respawn on Rishon. Yeah, and it is. So he's back and ready to fight. But yeah, so far as the first blood, again, I'll let you keep talking without interrupting because there wasn't a whole lot to report. It was just Leaf being overextended and being caught out and running towards his tower and not making it back. So no worries there. Either way, Pulse off to a pretty good start here, leading 3-1. 4 kills, 4 minutes. And it seems like just about a kill a minute is becoming the standard in most Dota games.
Yeah, I gotta agree with you there. And one thing that's a caveat in the tri-lane, of course, is that by now teams are... You know how these new strats come out and then they kind of fade away after a while? It's not because they suck, it's because teams just get used to it. And same with tri-lanes. I mean, Pulse, they've been just having TPs on their heroes all the time. If you die of them, then you have a tower right there. Just TP to it, and it's not a 3 against 2 anymore. It's a 3-on-3 with a tower in your back. So Pulse is just really showcasing how important it is to have a TP on you, some good map awareness and team communication, and all of a sudden a big dive that looks really threatening. All of a sudden it's just free food at your doorstep, I guess.
Haven't talked a whole lot about what's been going on in mid ever since we saw Rubik depart and move up towards top lane. Waga's been going one-on-one here, and he is doing pretty okay. He's only 7 last hits behind TA at this point. It is going to get worse and worse. TA is a hero that as she gets more levels becomes harder and harder to deal with in a one-on-one situation. But I think this demonstrates the point. Waga has even spent some time away from this mid lane and is still hanging in there. He's taking some damage here, but he's just going to trade, and that's exactly why. He can just disrupt Fata if he feels threatened at all. He's already stacked Shadow Poison. That's 4 stacks now. He's going to be able to pop that for decent damage. And yeah, he's been going blow for blow with one of the strongest solo lane heroes in the entire game, and that's just the strength of Shadow Demon as a whole. The question with Shadow Demon for a large part, though, is his utility outside of very specific instances. He can do a lot of things, but he does fall off pretty sharply unless he has a very express purpose, like, for example, disrupting an anti-mage, which, of course, is not in this game, but just as an example. So Waga's going to have to get a lot out of this Shadow Demon. He's doing well right now, but he can't sit in mid forever. He is not a hero that even really needs that much farm. He needs to start running with his team before long.
Yeah, and as long as he has a purpose, you know, that's the most important thing. He needs to have a purpose for doing what he does. And in middle lane, going up against TA, keeping him down and kind of making sure that she isn't getting all that much free farm. It's just really beautiful play from Waga, I guess, and a good decision too. So, and he's getting a solo experience as well, and that will make him a very powerful ganking tool with his ultimate. And now Kuro might get caught out.
Yep, it's going to be disrupted. Fishbone's there as well. There's the Malefice, double damage rune. Isn't going to hurt things either. But the Eidolon's there, doing good damage, melts immediately. That's level 3 on those Eidolons. That's when they start to really hurt. Focusing the Eidolons up, he's got 2 points into Malefice, point into Black Hole as well. But level 3, level 4 especially on those Eidolons, they just hit so darn hard. They do fall off eventually, but takes a while for that to happen. Here comes the Golden Roche. Aw, look at the cute little guy. The Dire Tide Roche, I'm sure we're going to be seeing more and more often. Pos going to eat a Stormhammer. Here's Alex, though, with the Ice Path follow-up. And the Dual Breath. And Rishon is committing a lot here. Not sure. Oh, Black Hole's going to catch 2. Rishon still banging away. Mini was there as well. Fishbone and Mini come out of the woods and punish them. And yeah, I was actually curious as to why Rishon was playing so ultra-aggressive, and he's going to spin a Stormhammer. He is going to be picked off. It looks like it's going to be a 1-for-1 trade. Malefice on Kuro. Mini giving Pursuit, and Fade Bolt. More than enough to get that kill. In the meantime, Bounty Hunter's going to die to TA in bottom lane. So yeah, 10 kills in, 8 minutes into the game. And it's 7-3. Pulse leading rather handily. We can see that gold graph. It's not really as violent a shift as it looks like. It's just because the amounts are so low. Less than 1,000 gold separating the two teams. But Pulse beginning to open themselves up a little bit of a lead. And this is when they want to get aggressive. And Poss going to be caught with the telekinesis. Immediate Malefice. Stormhammer follow-up. That's a dead Windrunner. Add another kill to that total. Momentarily, anyway. Yeah, I was going to say. Valiant effort, but not going to be able to make it away. Just not enough in the tank. 8-3 now. And this is what Pulse needs to do and wants to do.
Yeah, and that's the thing. I mean, look at it's Mini, Fishbone, and Region. They've been playing together for such a long time, and Region just going all the way in. What a beautiful initiation, and also kind of a bait as well, because all of them, us included, we were like, dude, question mark, what is he doing? All of a sudden, bam, black hole, and they kill both of them.
And we're gonna have another kill in mid. EGM. Or no, never mind. Wog actually got that kill. Ended up dying on the backside of it. In the meantime, they are going to go ahead and start pressuring the Tier 1 top. God Strength is popped. Fade Bolt going to be there to melt these creeps down. We got two moving up. That's Alex and Poss. They may want to contest this. They have a glyph in the tank if they want to use it. Nope, just going to power shot spam a bit and sack that tower. And we're going to see that's going to prompt Pulse to pull back. Not going to push on through. But yeah, Fata sitting at 40 last hits now is actually just barely above Shadow Demon. So Waga has done a great job one-on-one against the TA, showing how SD can work in this situation. Now moving to bottom, going to try and give a little bit of a pause to Leaf, who to this point has been free-farming more or less, sitting at 45 last hits now. And Pulse continuing to look good, man. They're doubling him up. 9-4. And it's just a matter, and you know, again, you want to see them be more aggressive than they were in Game 1. This has a feeling much like Game 1. They were in this same situation, they were in good shape, looking like they were ready to fight, then they got way too passive and they suffered for it. Especially now with Bounty Hunter, who's been level 6 for a while. He's level 8, not too far away from level 2 track. When that happens especially, we're going to have to expect to see a lot more out of them. Mini now going to eat a Gale after he's caught with a side trap. Uses the refraction, and that he stole, not enough though. Tried the TP out, he's going to be picked off, so... Zero, closing the gap where they can.
Yeah, and now a lot of pressure on Leaf as well. Doombringer is going to... He just got himself a Midas, so they know what's up. They know how this game is looking. They know that they really need to get a good farm on Doombringer. TA, she's been farming okay, but she's still quite a ways away from where Blink Dagger, kind of reminiscent of the game 1. It's going to be a late one, but yeah, it's hard to call right now. Obviously, we have Pulse kind of... having the advantage so far, and we have EGM again on Bounty Hunter, and this time around he's 0 for 1. In Game 1, he was like 7-0 or something.
Yep.
But, you know.
Kuro eats a Janata, but he's got a lot of help there. Malefice from the high ground's going to catch him. He's kind of out by himself. Gale's going to catch him, but it doesn't matter. He dies. It's a track kill. Fata, though, manages to just melt the Enigma immediately. One gigantic meld. Waga there trying to do what he can, but just not a lot of damage output. Shackle Shot not going to lash. Poss doing what damage he can. Fata going to be telekinesis, drop back down. Mini there with Waga, trying to buy enough time. Is it enough? No. Ice Path in the low ground. Mini caught out. Another big meld. Add another kill to the total. 0 on the warpath. Chasing down Waga. Shackle not going to latch. Side trap slowed him down, but not enough. They are going to go ahead and pull back. Wise decision here, I do believe. And Shadow Demon actually manages to get a kill on the Windrunner, using nothing but Shadow Poison, so very good usage of his skills there, his full skill set. Here we go, EGM's back. Wagamama uses Disruption. Fata's tracked as well. Fata without refraction now. Alex lands the Ice Path, but it's a day late and a dollar short as TA dies as the ice forms around her ankles. 8-12. And yeah, you can't overstate the importance of how many kills EGM is putting on the board with track. That gold is going to make a big difference. In fact, we can already see. I mean, they've been ahead. You can see the big dip up from the kills a moment ago, but dipping back down. And with the Bounty Hunter on the board, if they continue this, it's going to be a game of violent swings both ways, I believe.
Yeah. And now Doombringer got caught out in his own woods, so now they know that he's their last hope, and they're putting all this free space on him. Again, Leaf is kind of just alone farming, kind of like Sven and FaZe in Game 1. And one thing that's worth noting is that Kuroki Venomancer, perhaps he's not really used to playing that hero or that role. He's been getting caught out a bunch, or at least the initiation was out of sync.
Yeah, no, I agree. You just don't see Kuro on him too often at all. Pulse is going to go ahead and begin putting pressure on Tier 1 bottom. In the meantime, 0 moving up Tier 1 top, or moving towards Tier 1 top. Region's there. He's going to have support
top lane
as Mini lands. And here we go. Waka coming up. Invis. Kuro gets off the ulti. Region blows the God Strength. He's going to be able to chop Kuro down. Poss now trying to TP out, and no disruption to be had. Had already been used. So the Veno ulti does good damage, but not enough. They do manage to take the tier 1 bottom at the same time, so win on 2 fronts there for Pulse. Back to the gold graph. Yeah, 3,000 gold advantage now opened up for the Dire side. Same, more or less, in terms of experience. And Zero's going to have to get back on the ball. They've got a TA. They have a team that should be dominating pretty much now. With Veno, with TA, with Jakiro, with Windrunner. And now the TA has her Blink Dagger. That should be even more the case. But they can't allow themselves to fall too far behind. We've seen the potency of a Sven whenever he has a good start, which he has had so far. Waga's going to disrupt TA in mid. Alex uses the Ice Path, but it's dodged on all sides. Fata ate the Malefice. Down goes the Macro Pyre. They have to back out and make sure they're not standing in it. So they do manage to force the 3 back, but not before they get another kill on the TA. Taking a look at the kill total, we can see Waga's been dominating. I mean, the matchup he's been in, he's been doing amazing. 5-1 now, 3-2 for the TA. He's been hanging pretty close in the neighborhood of TA's farm as well. And yeah, the 2 top total kill totals both belong to Pulse. And 14-8, not out of range yet. It's not as if this game's over, but Zero's going to have to battle back soon. They can't allow this game to go on too much longer like this.
Yeah, and we see right now how versatile... I mean, this is Dota, man. Usually we see Shadow Demon, just because all the pros do it, we've seen Shadow Demon simply being a support hero. Now we see Shadow Demon with more farm in the middle lane, and lo and behold, he's getting a crap load of kills. The Shadow Poison, if it's stacked up properly, it deals an intense amount of damage, and Waga is playing him to perfection, so it's really crippling Zero so far. The disruption, the high level on his skills, and the ultimate is just doing a lot of work for Zero, for Pulse. Even though, I just checked, Waga used his ultimate on TA with Refraction up and did not remove those block instances, which was really interesting.
Anyway, Pulse now moving down towards the Radiant side jungle. Want to continue this aggression. Waga just uses Haste Ring. He's going to spot Alex. Ice Path catches Waga, but EGM's there as well. Leaf uses a silence on EGM, but he runs uphill into a lot of trouble. He wants to fight. Follow up Stormhammer. Here's the God Strength. Going to try and bang him down. Kuro gets the ult off, catches 4. But still, the damage from the Veno ult. Damage over time, not the burst they need. Fishbone is going to drop. Got the Black Hole off, but we are going to have a Shuriken kill on the backside. And buybacks aplenty coming out of both teams now. Fata being pursued by Regen. Regen at about half health. And there's the track on TA again. Buybacks coming out on both sides, 17-10. As things begin to settle out a little bit, and Fata's going to be spotted by EGM. Still has the track on him. And looks like they may be in a position to push here if they really want to. Depends on how aggressive they're feeling. Slowly, they're making their way into this jungle. Here comes Alex. Alex is going to spot Regen, going to miss with the Ice Path. Regen doubles back into it, but Kuro is there with the Ice Path. EGM does manage to get another kill in the meantime on Fata. Regen still alive as he was disrupted by Waga. Kuro tried to deny himself on the creeps in the jungle. Could not get it done fast enough. Now it looks like they want to pull back. Both teams beginning to consolidate a little bit. Very weird engagements here in this Radiant jungle. Very spread out, very awkward positioning from both teams. 10-19, and yeah, a bunch of those were track kills. We'll take a look at the gold. And it's beginning to feel a little bit out of hand. We're just 16 minutes in, almost 7,500 gold differential between these two squads. Roughly the same in terms of experience. And Pulse played very calm early on, but since they decided to move out, they really have not let up on the gas.
Yeah, keep in mind too that during that odd engagement, they did not have a Black Hole and Enigma, and still they came out on top. So this speaks volumes about how far ahead Pulse really are, / how kind of uncoordinated Zero is playing this. It's kind of unfortunate to see that they have, you know, look at the lineup from Zero. They have such good spells, man, but they're just not able to kind of combine them properly. Venomancer, again, gets caught out so much. I don't know if it's his team not listening to his calls or him kind of expecting too much mind reading from their part. And now Alex in mid, also in big trouble. He's probably going to get away scot-free, but keep in mind too that Doombringer, he has not been farming, and he needs to. He needs big items. He's got low armor, and he's going to get bursted down really fast. They need to change something really fast.
Well, again, it's just a liability of a farm-dependent hero. Kuro's going to immediately die, by the way. Dagon was picked up by Waga. That was his item choice. Waga now in some trouble, but here comes help. Leaf locked down. Midnight Pulse is there. Good damage being done. Leaf is going to drop. That's a mega kill for EGM. Track now on Poss. Ice Path going to buy a little bit of time. That's a 2-for-1 trade. Mini did drop. Charging now, well past the Tier 1 mid. Decent shackle shot there. Fata's going to be caught with the Malefice. There's going to be tracked as well. Waga going to go ahead and dive back. The Malefice buys enough time for the refraction to be popped away. Off goes the ulti. Waga is going to drop, but Kuro likely to die, and he does. That's another track kill for EGM. Pursuing the bounty hunter now. Is he going to make it away? Yes, he will. He's going to get, yeah, he gets the haste rune as well. And he's just going to go ahead and use it. Try and find up. Actually, he's going to bottle up. Going to hook back up with Fishbone. The mechanism going to get them both back in fighting shape, or at least along those lines. And playing very aggressive. Fata melds up. But not going to be pursued. 12 to 22. And the gold on its way to 10,000. This is bad news for Zero.
I must say, Pulse is playing very dominant so far as well. It's just I can't even put my finger on what really is going wrong for the Radiant side so far. Oh, look at mid lane EGM. He's again such a strong roamer. He's even going for a Lincoln Sphere right now. So he just wants to continuously be able to roam across the battlefield, throw out the track, and just not even do all the work himself. During the engagements, he just wants to pop out every once in a while for Janata / Shadowwalk strike, but most of the work is done by Waga at the moment, Rubik and Sven. So Enigma really hasn't been that big of a factor so far. He used one black hole that kind of worked, the other kind of failed. So this is really bad news for Zero. Doombringer has not paid off so far, and I doubt that he will pay off.
Kuro caught out by EGM. He's got help there, though. EGM's going to go ahead and dive. Wants another track kill, but he's silenced, and he's dead. Little bit of greed, and Kuro manages to keep himself alive. Fade Bolt from the low ground. Almost got him. But he does manage to keep himself alive. Very good play there by Mini, but a little bit of greed showing itself for EGM. You got to be careful. Against a team like Zero, Zero will punish you for that. They are in very dire straits right now, but they are in no way completely out of this game. And Pulse, as good as they are, Zero's just that good as well. I mean, they're both very skilled professional teams. And, yeah, we can begin to feel things settle out a little bit, at least temporarily, with 2 down. Waga and Bounty Hunter both dead at the moment. 14 to 22 as we roll past the 20-minute mark. On into the mid-game. Rishon has continued to farm up, making his way towards a BKB. But taking his time getting there, really. I mean, he got himself a bracer as well. He thought about going drums, but decided BKB was going to be the optimum option, and given the team, you can understand why. But, yeah, just kind of chilling out for a bit. Finally, we get a chance to breathe, right?
Yeah, absolutely. They were riding, I mean, Pulse were riding kind of on the advantage that the fast mech on Fishbone gave them as well. Now Paz has his mech completed in turn, so now they might want to try and go for a smoke gang or something. This is the point in time where they kind of got to pull out all stops. There's a freaking Dagon on Wagamama.
And Fata going to be caught out. Shackle shot is there, as well as Telekinesis. Midnight Pulse down as well. Black Hole's off cooldown if he wants to spend it. What did Mini get? Got the Ice Path. And they're all spread out. Yep, they're going to engage on Kuro. There's EGM. Immediately Dagon's him down. That's another track kill. Alex trying to run for the high ground. Can he make it in time to stay safe on the bottom side? Leaf and Fata being pursued. Alex is going to drop. Rishon making his way now from top lane. They've hooked up as 5. Ready to dive if they want to. Fata was actually just kind of farming for a minute there. But yeah, this is what you worry about. It's one thing to be losing in isolated engagements, but when you're giving up 10,000 gold in 20 minutes, eventually these 5 heroes are going to come together, and you're going to feel the full force of how much of a lead you've given them. Now pushing down mid. Looks like they've got their eyes on the tier 2 mid. Power shot spam, doing a little bit of damage. Same with the side trap. Just trying to buy some time. And the God Strength going to be popped. They are going to sell out on this. He's almost got his BKB. This tower kill will give him his BKB. And that's done. So, yeah, doesn't surprise me a bit. I was going to say with that very key item being done now, they may just go ahead and pull back. Heal up, get everything off cooldown, and then be ready to push again. But it looks like Fata has no such plans. He's trying to pursue. He's going to be telekinesed back. Waga still just sitting on level 1 Dagon. Has not upgraded it yet, but he has 1,800 gold, so he's going to be able to do so if and when he pleases. And we see the pings on the Roche pit. We'll see if that's what they end up doing. They're actually going to catch Alex, and that's another track kill. And this is beginning to become a real problem. Heading now towards 12,000 gold. 12,000 gold at 22 minutes.
Yeah, it's just a fate of a support player. Alex knew that he is in trouble there. He had to go though. They need vision on the map. Look at the wards of Pulse. Look at the wards of the Radiant side. He was just trying to get his team some form of vision, and he wasn't able to get it. He didn't get the ward down in time. Got picked off, and he's going to try again when he's alive again.
Yeah, absolutely. And as you point out, the wards, all 4 of those, ultra aggressive. They know they're in the lead, and they don't want to let up at all. Lincoln Sphere is now complete on EGM. So he's going to be even tougher to kill than he already was. Regen has completed BKB and has actually already got up his Morbid Mask, so he's going to be working towards a Mask of Madness at the same time. Pretty lethal combination. And it looks like a Lincoln's on Shadow Demon. Going to be the choice as well. So Waga wants that survivability as well as his ability to just point the big pain stick at people and go, Dagon! And watch them die.
Yeah.
But anyway, take a look at Fata. Fata, I'm going to say he's going Deso. Picks up the Mithril Hammer. I really think that might be a bit of a mistake. I think a BKB would be a better choice, and maybe it will be a BKB, but generally speaking, when you see a TA build the Mithril Hammer before the Ogre Club, usually an indication it's going to be Deso instead of the BKB. But who knows? All I know is Zero is just about out of this. They need either a mistake out of Pulse or a miracle in the next team fight. Pulse... Again, you can just look at the wards. So aggressive, knowing they're in complete control of this game, and one more team fight might be enough to decide it.
Well, the big thing is, look at now Leaf. I don't think he was going for an AC all along, but now we see the items coming up for it, and now we start to understand why we switched around with the Doombringer build from the Radiance into something like Vladimir's Offering. We saw how much of a difference a mech does in a team fight. That's why a large reason why Pulse always won those. If you have +5 armor on every single one of your heroes, it's going to do a whole lot to your team fight. In combination with an AC, it just does a lot for you. So. Now the Assault Cuirass is almost completed on Leaf, but perhaps Vladimir's Offering could have also helped in these engagements. But, oh, well, I guess he's the only melee hero, so that might have not made that much sense. But all I'm saying is that teamfight is just really, really important in this metagame.
Zero trying to apply pressure to the Tier 2 top. In the meantime, Kuro, the poor Snake Man, is going to die once again. That will make his 12th death of this game. Kuro has died a lot. Kuro accounts for almost half of his team's deaths at this point. The big winners, Bounty Hunter and Waga on Shadow Demon, no surprise there. And in fairness, I guess Kuro does have the highest kill count on his team. Leaf going to be picked off as well. Another track kill goes to EGM. 2,700 gold he's got in the bank right now. Want to take a look at his gold per minute. We will momentarily. In the meantime, Fishbone going to be shackled in, melded down as well. EGM caught in no man's land. Ice Pass going to be off the mark. Side Trap will not. Being pursued now by Fata, and here comes Regen. Regen throws the Storm Hammer, the God Strength, and now the Mask of Madness just chopping wood on Fata. Taking a little bit longer to bring him down than he would have preferred, I'm sure, but eventually they do get the kill. That's 2 down in exchange for nil as EGM managed to stay alive. Could make it 3, Alex being pursued. EGM in close pursuit, going to use the Janata. There's a Shuriken toss. Throws out another track just to guarantee that when Alex does die, which should be momentarily, it will be another track kill, and Fade Bolt more than enough to secure that. And yeah, I feel pretty confident in saying believe this game is approaching its conclusion. And we see Sven now banging away on the tower here in mid, tier 3. Kuro's there. Kuro already used his ulti. No, he didn't actually. It's off cooldown, so never mind. But the rest of his team coming in the backside now. Regen taking a lot of damage, just selling out, really, to get this tower. Shackle Shot is going to latch. It's going to get Waga on the low ground. Tier 3's gone. Off goes the ulti from the Veno. Regen is going to drop, but that's just the Aegis. He's going to be popping back now. And the next target, the melee racks. Buybacks coming out. And there's another Shackle catches, too. Doing what damage they can. They just can't commit to an overall fight. If they move out, they're going to have... It's basically all or nothing. They're going to try and keep this melee racks up now that the full team is back and ready to fight. Off goes a side trap, catches a bunch. Leaf just melts, though. Really got nothing accomplished. Alex now having to retreat to the high ground. Good Ice Path. Stolen. Catches 3. Kuro in trouble. Once again down below half health. He's going to be caught with a Storm Hammer. Another good Ice Path. Catches 3. Since Rubik stole Ice Path's to plenty on both sides. And yeah, 16 to 31. Almost doubling Zero up now. Pulse gonna go ahead and retreat, it would seem. Looks like, yeah, They have no intention of letting him retreat for free, so they're just going to come back and fight. BKB spent on Region. Off goes the God Strength again. It's off of cooldown immediately. Just chops him down. Poss is tracked in trouble. Going to be Maleficent and a black hole just to seal the deal. He's going to drop. Region is going to be able to kill Doom on the high ground as well. 35-16. One set of racks is Dunzo, and pretty sure the game itself is going to be Dunzo as well. Taking a look at the gold, almost 20,000 gold differential and 20,000 experience. Very well played game here out of Pulse. And Zero held on for a while there, Epi, just unable to bounce back after we saw EGM start moving around and really, really adding to that gold total with the tracks.
Absolutely, I couldn't agree more. And the thing is, man, Zero kind of defended their racks, but the big mistake they made twice is chase them outside of their own base in their high ground. They had no business chasing after them like that because they were just being kited out of their base, and then Pulse turned around and then just destroyed them over and over. They should have kept their cool, just, you know, get them away from the racks, get them to stop attacking the racks, and then back off. That way they could have at least kept themselves in the game, because Doombringer had the gold for the Assault Cuirass. Now he used it up for buyback, and I'm not saying that Zero, you know, they would have totally won this game, but they could have kept themselves in the game at least for a little while longer. And with the Roshan or something up in 5 minutes, we might have seen a different game. But it's just one quick point of criticism to what Zero could have done better in that defense. Now they lost to Rax, and if we, as you said, man, look at the gold, it's above 20k. So this game is basically over for Zero, and Pulse comes back after being behind 1-0, 2-1. They're probably going to take this. And the big question is whether or not they're just going to go in and finish the game, or if they want to take it safe and go for Roshan.
Well, I'll tell you what, one thing I can tell you is that Wagamama upgraded his Dagon 3 times after that fight. That's how much gold he had. And EGM went and bought an F-Blade. Just one shot. Just said, you know what, I want an F-Blade right now. So I'm going to buy it. Just buy a whole F-Blade. Got up his Eagle Song, the Ghost Scepter sitting back at the Hoos. So the Golden Roche Courier are going to be bringing that out to him momentarily, I am sure. But yeah, this should be the death push, the final push. And again, very well played out of Zero. For the most part, they have been using stand-ins, as Black was unfortunately unable to make it to this match. And they did manage to take it to Game 3, but Pulse got things under control here in Game number 3. They won 2 in a row after dropping Game number 1. And just waiting on things to wind themselves down now. That gold lead, yeah, 25,000 gold in a 30-minute game. That's okay. I hear that's all right, Epi. Pretty good farm. Pretty okay.
It's all right, man. It's pretty good. I was just actually thinking it's kind of tough for newer teams nowadays, because there's a kind of resource in pro gaming in Dota 2 that's really valuable, and we're just beginning to see that right now, and that's the amount of the duration of the team in its current composition. You know, just that the experience that you have as a team. For example, Na'Vi or DK or IG, I don't think it's going to be really tough for any type of new 5-man team to take on these juggernauts in the near future. It's just so important that you know the guys that you're playing with, and that you've been playing together for a long time. And we see this with Pulse. They're just destroying Zero, even though they have a lineup that could take them on theoretically. But yeah, that's just the power of team play, and that's, I guess, just Dota.
That's what makes Dota Dota, man. It ain't about one hero, ain't about one carry, ain't about one anything. It's all about the team play. And Pulse is going to roll up their second win of the day. And Rishan's going to blow the BKB, giving chase to Alex. Couple of swipes from the big man sword, and down he goes. And that was with God Strength off. He just now... Oh, wow. Yep, there we go. That's what you expect to see happen to Kuro. And the meld on Rishan, though. He's got to be careful. He's got way reduced armor from the meld and the Deso, which did end up being the item choice for Fata. But, yeah, they're just kind of deathmatching it now at this point. 3 are down, 3 for 1. Rishan is down. But it doesn't even matter. Waga, with his massive level Dagon, going to go ahead and disrupt himself and start banging away on the Tier 4 towers. Here comes Fata. Big meld on Mini. Almost one-shotted him. Not quite enough, though. He looks like he's going to pay the price, and he will. Black Hole going to be spent. Going to catch 2. And what an appropriate way to end a game, in which we saw the team fight. Really, I mean, the team fights have been good. Just haven't seen all that many black holes that actually caught a lot of folks. But got a couple there. Alex going to spin another ice path. Fata back up. Buybacks aplenty. Doesn't matter. Melts immediately. Alex running for the well. Going to be tracked. Spin another ice. Oh, what a dodge. That was just really well done. Really cool looking, too. And
good
Kuro.
Split.
Yeah, it was. The Marine split. Don't tell me it's a lost and dying art. But, anyway. Last tier 4s go down. Basically a victory lap at this point for Pulse. And you don't want to point to any one hero or any one problem, but what has Leaf done, really? Like, have you felt any impact from Leaf? And not the player, I guess I should say the Doombringer. Because Leaf is a good player, we know that. But the Doombringer just had brought nothing of particular value to this lineup at all.
Yeah, no, he didn't. And I mean, there is a reason why some heroes are not. Well, there's heroes that are not picked because they just don't fit into the strategy. And then there's heroes that aren't picked because their role hasn't really been found yet. And I mean, for Doombringer, you need to have a dominating type of play. You need to be aggressive. You need to go for those auras and then kind of push early on and secure dominance along the way. Because this way, Leaf has been farming all game and he's been disrupted in his farm, and that way he wasn't able to have any impact on the game whatsoever. And you know, that is why we don't see him picked up that often.
And the well diving, padding the stats. We're going to see Sven die here. Prize equals date with me, says Leaf. $1 euro. Or €1, I should say. But anyway, both these teams, you can tell, good friends with each other. Enjoying themselves as things wind down. Pulse, though, going to walk away again with their second win of the day. And I casted them in 2 best-of-3s back-to-back, and they look great in both of them. Getting a very impressive win against Empire in the D2L. And now, another best-of-3 win over 0. And looking pretty sharp doing it. And here comes Leaf. Come on, guys. In the game. The Ancient was almost dead. I want to see the final score. But yeah, it's been fun casting with you, Epi. Thanks for joining me on such short notice.
Hey, it's my pleasure, man. Always fun to cast with you, man. And it's been a great fun games, these 3 games. And of course, it's you know, Pulse deserve it. They played very well all these 3 games. Game 1 was really fun to cast. Game 2 was kind of derpy, and now Game 3, Pulse just said, "All right, let's do this."
Yep, derpy, I believe, is the correct term. Anyway, finally, Fishbone putting this game out of its misery. Almost, come on. Okay, here we go. Here come the creeps to finish it. And we are done. Put it in the books, Epi. The first ever King of the Hill show match here on Curse Gaming. All done. And $100, one big Benny, heading to Pulse. Thanks so much, guys, for being here for this. And, yeah, look forward to having you back. So make sure you hit follow. Would love to have you back for future broadcasts. I'll be here for the foreseeable future, at least. Doing most of these, working with Curse, something new to me, but I'm really enjoying it. And if you guys are new to Dota, make sure you check it out, man. Make sure you email Epi. Epi said he will hook you up with Dota 2 beta key. So if you want to play and you've enjoyed what you've seen today, not only hit follow, but pop an email to Epi.
Yeah, exactly. As I said, you can also check out epicommentary.com. There you can find my contact. So if you are interested in playing the game, then just type that in and find me, drop me a mail, and then I will send you a beta key, and you can learn to enjoy the game as well. So yeah, it's been a big pleasure. Thanks for having me, and well, congratulations to Pulse.
Absolutely, absolutely. On our way out the door here, Epi, where can people find more about you?
Well, as I said, it's epicommentary.com, and the next week we will have Star Ladder Season 4 starting, so I'm really looking forward to that. I will be casting all the games that I can from that, so I would love to say hi to you guys on my stream. It's on Own3D TV as well, of course, and yeah, it's epicommentary.com. Go there. Please support me on YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, all that jazz, and yeah, again, thanks a lot, Ayesee.
Alrighty, and my name is Ayesee. If this is your first time watching, I really hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, you can find me on Twitter. I'm at Ayesee, at AYESEE. And yeah, you can find lots of stuff about me there. Lots of links, YouTube, Facebook, personal streaming site, and all that fun stuff. In the meantime, though, I want to thank Curse for this opportunity, and of course thank the teams for being here. Zero as well as Pulse. Pulse emerging victorious, going 2-1 over 0. So next week, as I understand it, this could change, so make sure you follow here and follow on Twitter and all that fun stuff, and of course keep up with Curse just in case the updates are necessary. But next week, it will not be this coming Monday, but the Monday after that, I will be back with our next Best of 3 King of the Hill show match here on Curse, and it's going to be Pulse taking on another team, and we'll be figuring out who that team's going to be in the near future. In the meantime, guys, thanks again for being here, and hope to see you down the line. Enjoy your evening.